Safety. When you're thinking about bike safety equipment, a helmet should be your very first thought. In the time that I've been reviewing bikes here on KevCentral, I've went through, I think, 4 of these. This is a Bontrager Solstice with MIPS, which is a nice little protective system here. And I beat these up. Every year I get a new one. So I think this is my 3rd or 4th. Did skip 1 year where I used something else. But I usually use a helmet like this, which is a half-shell helmet. This is the helmet I use for my mountain bike riding, though I do use this for some city riding just because it offers such good ventilation, important here in hot, humid Alabama. But my other go-to helmet for around town is this. You'll see the 174 Hudson brand here. That tips you off that this is a priority product, though this is made by Kloska, which I think is an Italian company. And this is called the Stack because it collapses. It fits better in a backpack. You can see, unstack this here, there's not much ventilation on the Stack, and I can tell you from experience, this gets toasty in the middle of Alabama summer, especially get into July. That's why I use this for a lot of my city riding and mountain bike riding, because of the excellent ventilation. I mean, just look at all those ventilation holes. I prefer ventilation with my safety. But there is a twist to all this, at least when it comes to protection on a mountain bike trail. If you go to a local bike shop and you buy a mountain bike from them and you don't have a helmet, they're going to show you a half-shell helmet first because they're more affordable. If you go to a big box store, you buy a bike, you go to the bike section or bike accessory section and you look for a helmet, you're only going to find half-shell helmets. However, and this is the twist, if you're at that local bike shop and they know that you're going to be riding on a mountain bike trail, they're going to steer you away from a half shell and towards a full face helmet. And that goes even further if you talk to anyone that rides professionally, rides a mountain bike professionally, you will see that they ride almost always in a full face helmet. Now sure, you can look around YouTube and find a pro mountain bike rider that you will see in a half shell helmet, but that's usually when they're talking to the camera or doing something easy. If they get into their hardcore riding, you'll almost always see them in a full face. Why is that? Well, it's simple. They care about their head. Because this full face helmet, put this on Copernicus here, this does nothing to protect your face. All of this is exposed. So why then do you not see me in a full face helmet, since I ride bikes and ride on mountain bike trails a lot? Probably well more than the average rider. Well, there are 3 reasons for that, and they all tie in together. The first of which I've already talked about. I'm in Alabama, the hot humidity. See all these ventilation holes? Well, a full face helmet, budget full face helmets, not very well ventilated. A problem for me. I overheated on a mountain bike trail a few years ago. I've never been the same since. I don't handle heat very well. Sad that I live in Alabama and I don't handle heat very well. But that's a fact, and that's why I usually go for something like this, with very high ventilation, kind of trying to balance protection versus ventilation, versus budget. And number 2, I make no secrets about the fact that I am a low-risk rider. I am the average mountain bike rider, not a pro-level rider. I'm not a novice. I am the average, probably way more like most of you. I know my bodily limits, my skill levels, and the repercussions of an injury, so I play it safe and ride in my comfort zone most of the time. Most, a very operative word, because there have been points, I've skid face first off a trail onto the margins of a trail. I've even done that a time or 2 on camera. And let me tell you, on the way to a face plant, there is this thing that I call the over-the-bar time warp. A time warp because 2 things happen. First, it happens in a split second. Point A to point B, near instant. But somehow there is a time warp involved in that. On the way down in that split second, you can think about so many things. The first of which is usually, wow, I really wish I would have had a full face helmet for this. And that's a good segue to reason number 3, and ties in so well with number 1 and number 2, that I'm a budget-oriented guy, and full face helmets, if you haven't looked, to use an Alabama phrase, they ain't cheap. Even what are considered budget full face helmets are going to set you back $150 or more. And I know before someone jumps in here and starts commenting, I have encountered those $69, $70 full face helmets brands you can't even pronounce. And let me tell you, I don't even count those because they're horrible. A, bad ventilation. B, the watermelon head syndrome. It looks like you're riding around with a watermelon on your head. Basically, no safety specs. The long story short of all this is that I haven't come across that good balance point. Budget pricing, good ventilation, and quality specs from a brand that I actually trust. Until now, because Mongoose has full face helmets, and these meet both my trust in the brand and my budget. $99.99 on their website, and that's where these are available, on the mongoose.com website. But when I went to their website, there was a 10% off. All I had to do was supply my email address, a 10% off coupon code. That makes it $89.99. And check this out. There are two of these, two different styles. This one, they're called, by the way, the Title full face helmet. And this one is called gray with black, or black with gray, even though the black is the writing. But black with gray. This other style, really like this, the Mongoose orange. This is gray with orange, and they have these available. You'll see here. This is a medium. This is a large. This is my helmet. They donated this one. This is being passed on to something that you're actually going to see here on KevCentral coming up in a few segments. But look at all these sizes. I printed this directly off their website. I mean, it goes all the way from youth small to extra large, and you can see the measurements there. Plenty of size options for these helmets, and the reason I've had them for 2 months, I got the helmet, I got this one. I was waiting until they had them all in stock, but apparently they're very popular. So I've waited until now when it appears that the most of them are in stock. I don't normally do unboxings here on KevCentral, but I'm going to make an exception here because I guess I should have paid attention so I don't slice into the helmet top. But I want to experience this together and see what these Mongoose helmets have to offer, because like I said, oh, look at that. Nice little padding on the top of the box. I have high hopes for this helmet. This box out of the way. There's, by the way, nothing in there aside from the helmet and some protective wrapping. Oh, wow, this does look good. I see now the gray. You know, on that box picture, it looked kind of black, but this is definitely gray. Hope that comes out on camera. And look at this. And this looks like, I expected this to just be a cheap sticker, but it looks to be painted on. There's the Mongoose branding, ventilation up front. So let's look at the ventilation points here. Got ventilation here on the visor to allow air to flow through to here. This is a lot like a motorcycle helmet. These mesh grills there directly on the front. You can see all the way through the, look there through the ear hole. You can see quite a bit. And very motorcycle-like strap there. Let me put this right here, and let's get this other one out. Might as well take a look at the large. See what it has to offer compared to the other one. Now this one was called, that was gray with the orange. Get my knife blade out of here. Gray with orange. This one was black with gray. So let's see what the difference is. Oh wow, this equally, I don't know which one I like better. They both look really, really good. I see right out of the gate some graphic differences here. I don't know, scoot this over just a bit, how well this shows up on camera. But first and foremost, this one has Mongoose, where this one has kind of a gradient pattern. You can see that. This is more actually my style, this black on black type stuff. But this is very good. Does that have a Mongoose logo there? Yeah. Here on the front, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a Mongoose logo right up under that visor. There's not one on this gray with orange. Up on the top, there's a black stripe here and a Mongoose logo where there is nothing here. There is another Mongoose logo here. I mean, this looks like a sponsored rider helmet like you would see on a pro riding around on a track. This looks like something I would have expected to have purchased because it doesn't have all that extra branding. Although ironically, this was the one that they sent for free to pass on as a donated helmet. Look here with the black, and there's another vent grill, kind of like a motorcycle helmet, the sizing on the back, but no DOT sticker. And you know, these don't have that melon look. This is what I was hoping for. There is not the melon head look. When I just look at these, I mean, they look really good. They don't look overly large. I printed off some things off their website. I'm just going to run down some of the stuff so that I give you the full deal on these. Full face helmet helps protect your head while you ride to the next level. Like I mentioned, if I'm pushing it any at all, I really do start wishing that I had a full face helmet. This is ABS shell construction, lightweight. I'll weigh these in just a second. 10 air vents. I've looked over, I didn't count them, but there are 10 air vents, very important, especially on a full face helmet. A pivoting visor, but it's not what I envisioned. I envisioned a huge amount of pivot. There's a little bit, and there's a screw here where you can just loosen and tighten to lock it down at whatever pivot that you want. Now, I'm not very keen or knowledgeable on full face helmets, so I don't know how much a visor normally pivots, but technically it does have a pivot. Goggle strap channel, that would be this area right here. Now, some helmets have a little rubber strap here that snaps in to keep the goggles, or at least the goggle strap, in place. This, just a channel, a recessed area. I prefer this. Now, I don't own goggles. I usually ride with safety glasses, but I'm going to get a pair of goggles just for these helmets. I don't think I would want it strapped on. I would want it where I could take them all the way off, just at a moment's notice without having to worry about them hanging on the helmet. But that is a very defined strap channel, so it would keep it from riding around. And the other thing it has listed here is that it complies with a safety standard. Some of those budget helmets don't. This complies with a safety standard. Matter of fact, it's right there on that tag. So the next step, I guess, I need to try this on. I contracted a male supermodel for this part. In all seriousness, here's a good 360-degree look of this orange and gray helmet, or gray with orange helmet. It does fit well. Here's a better look, kind of down in the inside. I tried to readjust my lighting here, and I know someone will ask, because I was curious as well. Yes, these liners are removable. You can take out all of this stuff. The top section's Velcroed in place. These sidebars, or side padding, I don't know what the official name for this is, but these snap out. These can be removed, so all of this removable for cleaning. And it looks like this helmet was manufactured 7/3/2021. You're not going to be able to see that, but this was made 7/3/2021. And oh, look, here even the padding noted for the size of the helmet, so they're not just shoving padding into different size helmets, even though I'm just going to shove that back in there for right now. What about the weight? 1 pound 14 3/8 ounces, which is 862 grams. That's a look at the Mongoose Title full face helmet, the first full face helmet here at KevCentral. Can't wait to put this one to use and to get this one passed on to what it's going to be used for, something special. Remember, not at Walmart that I'm aware of, but available on mongoose.com under $100. How about that? Be sure to comment below with what you think about a $100 full face helmet from Mongoose, or any budget full face helmet. Thanks for watching KevCentral, and have a great day.